I'm Kathy Paver-Beardsley, and I graduated from the class of 1967. And I guess the person I really want to talk about is Helen Lowe Nunes. She was the Dean of Girls at Alhambra High School. I am a first-generation college student, and I would never have gone to college had it not been for Helen. Helen believed in me when other people didn't believe in me, and I think that she was one of the people who truly made a difference. When I was, when there were issues that were going on in my personal life, Helen would take me aside. She'd also hold me accountable. She'd say things like, so at what point do you take personal responsibility for your own life as opposed to letting the circumstances and other issues going on affect how you react to things? And so for me, she actually helped me grow up and prepared me actually for the rigors of college. So I just was grateful that she was in my life. When I did go to school, Helen and her husband actually, when there were some financial issues going on, she and her husband actually gave me money. And so she's the one I wanted to really talk about. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about. Is that okay?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Janet Wainwright, class of 67, Alhambra High School. And I had a momentous career at Alhambra. I was president of my class, along with Phil Satchery. He was president one semester. I was president the next semester. I was vice president when he was president. He was vice president when I was president. So I was very politically involved and have always had the gift of gab. That's the nice way of putting it. I had many run-ins with teachers. I was always getting kicked out of class because I talked too much. And I think one of my favorite teachers was also my nemesis, and that was Miss Fitzpatrick. She also was my brother and sister's teacher. And when I came along, she couldn't take it. So I think I got booted out of her class maybe 3 or 4 times, sent to the principal's office for talking in class or talking back to Miss Fitzpatrick. I had many wonderful teachers. Mrs. Spade, she was one of my favorite teachers, an English teacher who probably taught me more about writing than anyone. Let's see, what else? I wish I could remember the principal's name because I was in that principal's office many times. I should remember his or her name. I think it was a he. But I learned a lot at Alhambra. I learned how to be political. I'm still very political. And I honed my skills at Alhambra and appreciate everything that I learned there. How about that?
I'm Eric Benson, and we moved to Martinez when I was in the 5th grade from Southern California, and started at John Muir in the middle of a school year. Loved 6th grade with Ron Jessen, and then on to junior high and high school. A lot of favorite teachers in high school. Guess big experience started in high school in '66. My mom got interested in local politics and was elected to the city council, and so we knew everybody in town. And Mom was on the city council. Van Hoy's dad was the city attorney. Phil Satchery's dad was the public works director. So it was like family. And then senior year, had completed most of my coursework, so I had room to take some courses. And was the photographer for the yearbook, The Torch, and photographer for the Alhambra Times. And had an extra period where I was working on the newspaper. And I had some interesting experiences working photography for the yearbook with Mary and Janice. They were the co-editors. I was the student photographer, not the professional photographer. And we usually found time around lunchtime to go take some of the advertising pictures at some of the restaurants in town. We always seemed to get a meal out of it. Which Mary didn't remember and Jan didn't remember until I reminded them. So that was it. And then I was the first Alhambra graduate to go to a service academy. And 13 days after graduation, I was in Annapolis, Maryland at the Naval Academy, and 25 years later, I was a civilian again. So that was Martinez and where it led me.
Hi, my name is Linda Nolte Backus, and I'm glad to be here at this reunion. And so I would like to say a few things at school that I remember. I had lots of friends, and I enjoyed Alhambra very much. And one of my favorite teachers was, I always enjoyed Mr. Nichols. He taught history, and he was a great teacher. And then I remember a very interesting thing that happened. I fell asleep in class, and they let me sleep through 5 periods. And I woke up, and I didn't know where I was at, and I never got to live that one down. Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, it was rather embarrassing, actually. Yeah, and then I think somebody else fell asleep after I did, and I forget who that was. About a week later, so I didn't feel so bad after that, you know. But and then another experience I had was Coach Snyder. He was the boys coach, and he said he used to like to follow me around. It was a little creepy, but it was different, you know. And yeah, I had a good time in high school. I always enjoyed school a lot. Okay.
Hi, my name's Linda Rampoldi, and my last name now is Duryea. I live in Lake County, California, and I went to school in Alhambra 50 years ago. And I have some memories. My father was a doctor, Dr. Rampoldi, and he worked down in Martinez. He was an Italian. He could speak Italian very well and write it and everything. But the one thing that he didn't do is teach his kids how to speak it. So anyway, I went to school, and my favorite teacher was Mr. Reynolds, and he did history. And he was a pretty hard teacher, but he taught us all really well. And I remember this one exam that I had was just tremendously hard, but I got an A-, so it couldn't have been too bad. I did better than his daughter did, which I was very shocked. But I graduated and went on and got married at a very young age, 18, and stayed married for 5 years, had one child, and then another one. I went to Europe. I went to the Virgin Islands, and had a great time. And then came back and lived in New Orleans and worked. And then hitchhiked across country back to California.
Hi, my name is Laura Johnson Huddleston. I reside in Casa Grande, Arizona, and I graduated in 1967 here at Alhambra High School. My favorite teacher, I think, was Mr. Smith. He was always very nice to me, and I have fond memories of him. Do you remember your senior prank? I'm not sure that I did a senior prank. You know, we were all such nice children back then, and so I didn't remember doing a prank to anyone. I remember one time that I had operation on my feet, and I was in crutches, and Lawrence Miller, as we all know and love, this boy came up and he knocked my crutches out from under me, and I went to fall, and Lawrence caught me, and he picked the boy up, threw him against the wall, and the guy went down the wall, and he said, "Don't ever touch her again." And so I don't know if that was a prank, but I do remember it fondly. Best friend in high school had to be Maris Thompson. We're still very good friends today, 50 years later. Do you remember a particular exciting sports moment in high school? Well, it wasn't really a sports moment, but I remember it fondly, and that is the man that I met 50 years ago, Phil Huddleston. who was the class of 1966. We have a picture of this, and I was the mascot of Alhambra, which was the bulldog. And he was in a football uniform, and I remember a photo of him where he's laying on the floor in the gym. I have my foot over him, and I am, stepping on that football player. And 50 years later, that football player and that bulldog named Laura are still married. So that's it. Wrap it up.
My name is Mary Jo McLaughlin. Graduated from Alhambra in '67. Have lived in Martinez since 1955 and still love the place. And I really enjoyed Alhambra High School. And my senior year, I was chosen as an exchange student. So I did my senior year over in the Netherlands, and that was really exciting. When I was a freshman, we had an exchange student from Ecuador, Ricardo, I'm sure a lot of people know. So that started my interest in international travel. I've been to 6 continents now. So I lived in not only the Netherlands, but after college, I lived in Honduras for a year. So it was really exciting. And I have 3 brothers and a sister. 2 of my brothers graduated from Alhambra. Richard McLaughlin and Bob McLaughlin, and my sister Ann. And the 3 of them still live in Martinez. Richard became a teacher at Alhambra High School and eventually a school administrator. My brother Bob was drafted to Vietnam. On his way there, he went to officer candidate training school in Arizona. After Vietnam, went back there, got his degree, and became a probation officer. And my sister Ann became a nurse. So the McLaughlins are 3 of them are still Martinez. I'm in Napa.
I just happened to notice Laura Huddleston is also here, a classmate. She and I, our family lives in Avon, which was the refinery to the west of Martinez, and we both went to kindergarten in Concord. And then they expanded the refinery, so we moved to Martinez, and then we met up. I went to St. Catherine's, and we met up again in high school. So I've known her the longest of anybody here.
I'm Karen Grisham Pound, graduate of 1967. My favorite teacher in high school was Mr. Al Jameson. I thought he was pretty good. I had it for U.S. history. He was real down to earth, and I really enjoyed that. Felt comfortable with him. My family, I have 5 sisters, and they all went through Alhambra also. And I'm trying to think of a special moment. Going to the games was always special, the football games, especially when they won. Yay, Bulldogs! The dances were always fun. I think my favorite classes were like biology and science. My not so favorite classes were anything to do with math and algebra and things like that. We had a nice 1967, the year, what was it, the Summer of Love. We went through the 60s, and it was nice right around the time we graduated. There was a lot going on. There was people love, free love, and some protesting, and there was always something going on. My best friends in high school were Elinda Rampoldi and Marilyn Anderson, Janetta Tacker, Doris Brooks, Linda Backus, Nancy Alcott. I remember these people very clearly, how we used to hang out. Some of my favorite places were to go to someplace to eat, and I believe at that time we had A&W root beer that we went to, Winks on Alhambra. Um, enjoyed going up to Rankin Park. It was always a nice hangout. Um, in Martinez, those were the areas of doing fun things, I guess you'd say. Anyway, I'm proud to be a 1967 graduate of Alhambra High School, the best high school in the world. And and I'm really proud and happy to see everybody here at the reunion. It's been very, very nice to see everyone, all the friendly faces and smiles. It seems like nobody's changed. Everybody's got the same personalities, and it's just been wonderful meeting everybody again.
Bum 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 bum. I feel free. Bum 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 bum. I feel free. Bum 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 bum.